In this video, I will give you 14 different ways on how you can nail at being a woman of high value. Hello, my name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high value woman secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And just before I share with you those 14 simple ways on how to be a woman of high value, don't forget to take my free self-awareness test to find out are you a woman of high value or low value. And I will drop the test in my video description box below. And my merch, Chase Goals No Drama, as always you can get this in my YouTube store. So what is a woman of high value? I think the focus on here is values. A woman who has high moral values. Anyway, without further ado, let's break it down for you ladies. What do I mean by that? Number one, a high value woman is friendly, happy, she loves people, generous woman of good nature. She has a good social circle of friends and she really appreciates her family members. She's a good friend, and because she's a good friend, she has many friends. It's really important in life to have good friends that care about you and you care about them back. We all need a community, we all need support in life in our good and bad days. And you must understand as a woman of high value that a man by himself will not be your husband, your girlfriend, your best friend, and everything else. You cannot put this all on a man. He's not a robot, he's just a human being. As a high value woman, if you want to have a healthy and happy relationship, you must develop a healthy and happy circle of family and friends. Number two, so since I talked that your friends matter, let's talk about should you just be friends with anyone? A lot of times, and I was definitely in this place before, I would just be friends with people that I have a good laugh with. If we were a bit crazy or this or that, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. I would just be happy to be with them. It's a big mistake, ladies, because your friends reflect who you are. So if you are going with people who don't care how they present themselves, with people who talk trashy language, with people that give you a bad name, with people that gossip behind your back, people who act desperate and sad, with ladies that look easy and pursue men on every single corner, they are your friends. So other people, your potential partner, will judge you on your friend behavior. For example, and I use this example quite a lot, I was with a girlfriend, a new friend, and we were in a bar and she did this very slutty move on this guy, and this guy turns around to me and like straight away says, "Is she your friend?" And I'm just like, wow, you just judged me just like that on my friend's behavior. That guy had a point, to be honest, because you are who you surround yourself with. Your friends do represent you, they represent your character, they represent who you are as a person. Therefore, choose your friends wisely. Number three, a high value woman understands that in order for a man to stay attracted to her, he needs to feel manly, he needs to feel like a man. Therefore, she's happy to let him lead their relationship. However, a high value woman really understands what a good and what a bad man is. If she feels that her guy is leading her towards the wrong direction, towards the things that are unhealthy or bad for her or for him, she stops following him and sets in the boundaries. Guys enjoy to lead and they enjoy when you follow, so when you behave feminine. However, there are lots of men who are really bad leaders or who have bad intentions towards you. So if you don't know him yet really well and you're just beginning stages of dating or beginning stages of relationship, and you're just blindly following him, even though you know that he's doing wrong things for you and for him, well, then you're showing that you don't have many values, or that you will put your values aside and will go with him. A man respects a high value woman because she has values and she sticks to them. So if he is misleading you, or he's leading you towards the wrong direction, and you put your values aside, that is exactly how you lose value in his eyes. My advice here would be, let him lead you on your terms, or in other words, set in your boundaries if you feel like he's leading you the wrong direction. Because if you will not set in these boundaries, he will keep leading you, you will keep following him no matter what, and that is exactly how he will start to take you for granted. So a man starts to take you for granted not because you're following him, it's because you're following him blindly. Number 4. A high value woman focuses on her destiny. She has a passion. She prioritizes the important things that she must do in her life. So ladies, when you focus on your destiny, when you have a meaningful passion, you take your mind off the guy and you focus on it. Then you shift your energy towards your passion. First of all, you get much happier, become much more interesting to talk to. Why? Because people who have a passion, they are very, very attractive. And when we talk about their passion, you literally can see their eyes lighting up. You can see the happiness and the fire in their eyes. The men are usually attracted to these type of girls because these type of girls are usually quite independent. They're not very needy, they're not very demanding, because we don't have that much time to focus on the guy. They are not bored when they are by themselves. Their time is always occupied by their family or friends, hobbies, or their passion. Therefore, we just don't nag as much. A man doesn't feel that much pressure for them. Automatically, men start to lean towards women like that much more than towards a woman who doesn't really have a life, who's really bored, and where her focus just goes totally and completely on a man. When you set your attention on your passion and your destiny, that is exactly when your guy will be setting his attention on you. Number 5, high value women are secure and they value themselves. A high value woman knows her value. She does not get insecure. She does not keep going to a man asking him, what do you think about me? Am I good enough for you? A high value woman is secure and she knows her value. Therefore, she doesn't compare herself to other girls. She does not compete with other ladies who's prettier, who's skinnier, who's wiser, who's more charming. If a guy she's dating or she's into is bonding to another girl more, well, maybe he's just not a guy for her. She knows her value and worth, and she trusts that the right guy will come along who will see her value and worth and who will want to be with only her. When you compete with other women, or you start to copy another woman and behave like her in front of your guy, and he knows that you're not being yourself but you're copying someone else, you're actually reducing your own value in his eyes and in front of other people, because you're saying like, I don't value myself, I don't like myself, and I see this other girl as better than me. Therefore, I'm going to start to copy her behavior and apply it to myself. So if you're with a guy, he will see this, therefore you will start to believe this too. You'll be like, oh yeah, she's not good enough. This girl is so much better. Number 6, don't put him on a pedestal. You put a guy on a pedestal and you start to worship him, a guy gets really quickly turned off. First of all, because by putting him on a pedestal, you're actually pursuing him and you're going out of your way to please him. I'll give you one example. I remember my friend just started to date this girl and it was just beginning stages, so he was somewhat into her, but like not that crazy about her just yet. And she started to stay over at his, and he shared a story with me how they woke up in the morning and he found her ironing his shirt for work, which, you know, it kind of seems like a nice thing to do for a girl towards a guy, but for him it was way too much. He was like, Greta, not only that she's always treating me like a king and putting me on a pedestal, now she's going out of her way to do things for me. Like she was constantly trying to impress him, to show what a wonderful girl she is. In the beginning of dating or relationship, a guy needs to pursue you. He needs to show what a great catch he is. This when you're ironing for a man in the beginning stages, when you're cooking for him 3-course meals, when you're in his flat tidying his room. Ladies, these skills should be seen when he already marries you and you iron his shirt, you clean the clothes when you're already married, because guess what, now you are a family. And don't do these things in the beginning in order to impress him. In the beginning, it's his job to pursue you, his job to impress you. It's his job to show what a wonderful catch he is. And if you'll do these things in the beginning, he'll see it as a pursuit. He will see it as you putting him on a pedestal, you treating him as a king, and you'll turn him off. Number 7, don't play mind games. Be honest and genuine, be straightforward, be direct, but keep your boundaries. So the problem is a lot of ladies play lots of little games thinking that we're going to keep a guy's attention this way. The thing is, like, ladies, think about it. There are so many dating coaches on YouTube. There are tons of articles on how to play all kinds of games all over the internet. There are hundreds of books written about the games. If you will start to play these little mind games on guys, most likely he knows about them all already, because there is so much information about it out there. It is very likely that by playing these mind games, first of all, you will come across like somebody that he cannot trust. Second of all, you could come across very immature. And third, you can really dig yourself a hole, and long term you will definitely not look as a relationship material. Instead, what I would recommend would be honest and genuine, but do the right thing and have your boundaries. Ladies, when you simply just understand the differences between men and women, when you let a man be a man, when you're behaving feminine, when you're honest and genuine, when you tell him as it is, but you keep your boundaries, there is no way for a man to abuse you, or walk all over you. And at the end of the day, you will always feel good, because you will know that in your heart you did not do anything wrong. Therefore, he will have nothing on you to accuse you with. He won't be able to call you crazy, he won't be able to call you immature, he won't be able to call you a liar, a cheater, or anything else, because you never played games with him. You were mature, confident, honest, direct, but you had your boundaries to keep your values, self-respect, and to keep him valuing and respecting you back. Ladies, this is always a winner. Number 8, be confident and fearless. Have a character, be bold, do the right thing. You know, don't ask him questions such as like, is my nose too big? Did I gain some weight? And does my bum look big in this? Or like, oh, I need to lose weight on my tummy because I have now these rolls. Or like, If you're a bit curvier and you're with him and he's checking out a model, oh, do you find that girl attractive? These type of questions show that you're insecure about your body, that you're not confident with yourself, and it always makes you look less attractive. You need to be confident in your own skin. If you're not confident in your own skin, if you don't like what you look like, well, work on it. If you're a bit overweight, go to the gym and get rid of that weight. If you're too skinny, work on how to put on some weight. But you don't need to share these insecurities with him, because once you'll share them, you'll be like, oh, I actually pursued this girl because I thought she's confident, and now she starts to share all these insecurities with me, and I'm actually starting to find her less and less attractive. A man is not there to be your kind of body reassurance and give you confidence towards every step that you take. You should be confident and secure within yourself before even getting into a relationship. Ladies, there are tons of nice guys who will actually, reassure you that you look great, and there is nothing wrong with asking a guy this type of question once in a blue moon here and there. But a lot of girls, we ask for this security and this reassurance nearly on the daily basis. It becomes really, really unattractive. Think about it like this, ladies. When you're with a guy and he tells you that he's got a beer belly and he keeps kind of complaining about it every single day, you start to see him unattractive, even if before you actually fancied his bold confidence and his funny looking beer belly. There was nothing wrong with that. It actually became kind of attractive to you. But now he's constantly complaining and moaning over it. Now, because he keeps brainwashing you that his belly is ugly, you actually start to believe that it's not that attractive anymore. So ladies, if you have insecurities, keep them to yourself. Instead of sharing them with a man, work on them. Another thing is, if your boyfriend is a bit manipulative and you share your insecurities with him, guys are not angels, and many guys have many flaws, and a lot of times we write down those insecurities that you have, and long term we start to play games with you over those insecurities. So making you jealous with a woman that's, let's say, slim, or even poking at those insecurities when you guys are having an argument or a fight. And when a guy knows your insecurities and he pokes at them, it's much harder to keep emotional control, because you're insecure in those places, so it hurts much more. But if he doesn't know about your insecurities, and let's say he's trying to poke at some things, and you know that you're great at those things, he won't be able to get to you. He won't be able to go through your skin. You see, it gives a totally different vibe. So, and ladies, I actually have a cool video which I would recommend you to check it out, and it's how to banter with the guy, especially when he starts to do these kind of little digs at you. And you'll find that video just by following the link right here. Number 9, nagging and complaining. So ladies, when you're not happy with a guy, a lot of you nag or complain about the things that he does, right? Or he doesn't do. It does not work, because you cannot change a person. You cannot change their bad patterns, their bad behaviors. What works instead is when he really likes you and he's really in love with you, he is aware of his bad behaviors and bad patterns, but when he's really in love with you, he will want to impress you. And when a guy wants to impress you, he wants to change his patterns and bad behaviors, because he knows that those things are unattractive, and he will not want to look unattractive to you when he's trying to impress you. So instead of nagging or complaining about his bad behaviors, think about it. Is there a way for you to increase his attraction towards you. So he starts to work on his bad behaviors and patterns himself, because he has so much attraction for you that he constantly wants to impress you. With this type of mindset, ladies, you'll go much further than nagging or complaining. And at the same time, ladies, keep it in mind that nobody's perfect. There are two different people that coming into a relationship. Of course, there will be tons of things that you don't like about each other, but that's where the compromises come in. Number 10 characteristic of a high-value woman, as I said before, she lets a man pursue her. So she knows she's feminine, she knows her value and worth, she knows it's not her job to chase and pursue a man. Why? Because she's a woman and he is a man, and a man finds his wife, a man pursues her, a man charms her, a man tries to impress her, etc. A man shows off that he is a catch. So if you are the one chasing guys, calling them, texting them, trying to impress them by cooking the dinner, ironing their clothes, or whatever else idea that you have in mind, you're coming across as a pursuer, you're giving him safety and security, and you're turning a man off. You're turning him off because you don't make him feel good. You don't make him feel good because guys have testosterone and they are biologically designed to come after women. So when you're coming after a guy, you're behaving like another guy, and this is not what he is looking for. So let him pursue you, let him charm you, and you behave ladylike and be receptive towards that. Saying that, of course, as a woman, you should still show initiative and your opinion and character. I'm not telling you to be this kind of submissive follower, because this is just purely very, very boring. However, you still need to let him come after you and find you. And if he's not doing that because he believes that it's 21st century and women should pursue men because we are kings, well, you just basically say thank you, next. Then you start off this way, and even if, let's say, some magical way you do end up in a relationship by pursuing a man and treating him like a king, these type of relationships are usually very unhealthy, and long-term they become total nightmares for women and for men, because a man is not getting his needs met as a man because you're behaving as a man back to him and you're not complimenting him, you're actually turning him off. And he is not fulfilling any of your needs because as a woman you need safety and security, you need pursuit from him, and you're not getting any of that. So you're always sad and upset, feeling not good enough and worthless. So don't fall for this 21st century BS, because these type of relationships become really unhealthy, really painful, and they just do not work. Number 11, don't panic when you don't understand something that he does. So a lot of times when a man responds to a woman in a way that she would not respond to him, women panic. We panic and we start to chase and pursue a guy acting all insecure, needy, clingy, crazy, and so on. And that way, of course, we turn a guy off. So ladies, when he does something out of the ordinary, or you don't understand something, first of all, I would really recommend you to assume the best, assume positive, because men and women are different. Therefore, you cannot expect to be able to read his behavior every single time. Why you can't read his behavior every single time? Because he's different from you. How he thinks and how he responds to different situations will be different in many ways from you. So if every single time when he responds differently from you, you assume the worst and you panic, you're basically ruining their relationship because you're assuming the worst and you're not giving him the benefit of a doubt. And then a lot of times what these girls do, then the guy does something what she doesn't expect him to do, or she expects him to behave differently. So that same girl goes and asks for advice of the other girl who thinks exactly the same as she does, because women think in one way usually and men usually think in another way. We don't always think the same way. So if you're assuming the worst in some kind of situation and you're going for advice to the other woman, she's gonna assume the worst in that situation too, because a lot of times girls don't think the way guys think. Girls don't have the same needs as men do. If you're just behaving a different way from a woman and you both are assuming the worst, you're basically creating problems out of nothing. You're creating problems out of not understanding differences between men and women. Ladies, if you want to know the major key differences between men and women, check out my playlist right here. Number 12 characteristic of a high value woman: she is wise. She understands the game, she learns the game, and she does not let a man manipulate her. At least a lot of you say, well, I don't like to play games. And that is absolutely fantastic. I don't like to play games either. However, just because I don't like to play games or just because I don't play games, it doesn't mean that I don't know about them or that I cannot spot them. We don't live in heaven. You know, this world has a lot of bad, it has a lot of manipulators, people that want to use and abuse you and so on. You know, like, so you need to learn the games, you need to learn these manipulation strategies so you can resist to them and you can protect yourself. A high value woman is wise. When you don't understand the games, when you don't understand the manipulation strategies, you end up living in a very naive way. You fall into a lot of traps that guys dig out for you. You become a perfect prey for the predators. It is the wiser you will be, the more you will know, the better you will be able to protect yourself. And the kind of easiest way to look, is he manipulating you or not? Is like, if it doesn't make sense, he is saying or what he is doing, it usually is because he's manipulating you. So if it logically doesn't make sense, then usually something there is really off and you should pay attention to it. Number 13. Sometimes things make sense logically, but we are still not the right thing to do and you can still be manipulated. So if you feel like he is doing something that goes against your values, right, or your morals, but the way he's explaining it, it's all very sly and it kind of makes sense and it even sounds logical. So if you're in this situation where you feel like it kind of makes sense and it even sounds logical, but something just doesn't feel right because it's going against your values, my advice here is stick to your values. Don't go against your values. As I mentioned before, when you go against your values, this is when you lose your value as a high value woman. In today's society, what's right and what's wrong, it's becoming really subjective. These things should not be subjective because there is only one truth. However, it's just kind of becoming a big mess how we live in this world, and in order for everybody to get on and be polite to each other, a lot of times we agree to disagree, and how one person sees the truth is one way and how another person sees the truth is the other way, and we just kind of tend to let go of these things. We technically should not let go of these things because there is only one truth and we should always dig towards that truth. That's totally another topic. My point is, because in today's society everything is so subjective, what's right and what's wrong, because what's right and what's wrong is subjective, your values can be taken out of place as well and can be made subjective too. So when you come into the relationship or you start to date somebody, make sure that you have your set of values that align with his set of values. Make sure not to change your values for anyone. If what he's saying to you makes sense logically, but it does not align with your values, then perhaps it's time to let go or sit in a boundary or take some kind of different approach. But don't let this manipulate you, play you, make you change your values for him. Because ladies, without doing the right thing and sticking to our values, we become nothing. We become desperate, we become sad, we become pathetic. We let people play, manipulate us for granted and walk all over us from any different angle. You have to make sure to have the strength and stick to your standards and values no matter what. And you show respect to yourself and to your set of values. This is when he will show respect to you and your set of values. And number 14, my favorite. A godly woman is a high value woman. Ladies, if you truly want to be high value, I would just recommend you to read the Bible and just to kind of like analyze it and just go in parts with it, because all the answers are there. Like, let me give you a few examples. Like, when you read the Bible, you can see that God says, guard your heart, don't wear it on your sleeve, because when you wear your heart on the sleeve, you're vulnerable to these other manipulators. People can use, abuse, take advantage of you. In the Bible it says, do not be a naive woman. It tells you to be modest. It tells you to be honest. It tells you to stand up for yourself. It tells you how to set in boundaries. In the Proverbs, it really well explained, actually. So many examples. What is a good man? What is a bad man? Why God approves on good man? What type of characteristics a good man has? What type of characteristics a bad man has? And it really breaks down the differences between man and woman, how to complement each other in the right way. So my advice is, if you really want a happy and healthy relationship and you are a woman of God, I would say, well, the advice for you is to choose a man of God back. It's a man who analyzes these type of principles, who understands these type of principles, who does the action to show it. And of course, if you're non-religious, I would still really recommend you to follow these principles, as we all will apply to your relationship and will make it much better. So ladies, if you like my video, please press like. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Join Greta's High Value Woman School, where we are all in the same boat, learning how to be a woman of high value and bring out the best in our men. Follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. And for one-on-one coaching with me or a member of my team, or joining my incredible VIPs, book me through my website called gretabereisaite.com. And if you would like to know how to stay attractive via text, games men play on women, how to control your emotions, how to get your ex back, how to love yourself, or how to make your little hobby into an online business, I have all these packages for sale on my website, gretabereisaite.com. Thank you for watching. Kisses from Dorset.